We've lost our oldest male phoenix barb. It's not too big of a surprise, it was coming. He wasn't himself the last several days. Last week he got a huge bite on his caudal peduncle, and that probably stressed him over the edge. He couldn't handle anymore. The whole story is kind of bizarre. We took him out with the rest of the mahseer and the female phoenix barb out of 25,000 gallons in July this year. So we're in it's 7th month, we're in the 10th month, so it's about 3 months ago. Three and a half months ago we took him out of the 25,000. Everything was fine at the beginning, let's say maybe for a month or so, and then he got bitten on the tail, lost a good portion of the upper lobe of the tail, and then maybe in another week or so he got bitten near the tail on the side. And then he got bitten again on the side. Let's say like that was a pretty sizable, those were sizable bites. The scales were missing. I mean, everything was fine, but the scales got removed. I'm pretty sure it's by the gar. The bites did not look like from catfish or anybody else. It was the gar work. More specifically, probably the biggest Cuban gar was doing that. At the same time, the 4 smaller phoenix barbs were also bitten, not as badly, but obviously those were gar tooth marks. So anyhow, I kept hoping that he will figure out, mahseer, they're related to mahseer, but phoenix barbs and mahseer are very smart fish. They avoid me really well when I have to catch them. I mean, they know exactly what's happening, how to hide, how to run away. We have some other mahseer that show the damage on the fins here and there. You can see that the female, thank goodness, is more or less okay. She's got a bite on the other side, but it healed up. But this guy wasn't able to learn, I guess. Oftentimes I'm too fast blaming the predators for the bites or for the deaths, but it could have been also that the predators were sensing his weakness, whether he was not feeling himself due to age. I don't think it was a sickness because he fed very well all throughout it. The only thing I can think of is the age. And then they preferentially targeted him to attack. This is our biggest Cuban gar. He's a good 3 feet. The one-eyed guy. He bites really hard. Mostly because of the only eye that he has. The other 4 also bite hard, but not as hard as him. So I don't know if it was provoked by his weakness, or whether these attacks were just generally on him and he couldn't cope with them for some reason. But in any event, housing a gar with cyprinids seems to be a bad idea overall. They look too much like the normal shiny prey. See, this phoenix has a obviously gar bite mark on his back. There's the female's bite towards the tail, but it's already healed up. Dora just keeps scraping itself on the pipes. It's pretty clumsy fish. At least this one is. You see little bites on the biggest progenius, which I think is just a tumbra or tumbroidus. Masir. The blue masir has a bite on the dorsal and a little piece missing from the tail. I'm pretty sure this is all gar work. So I need to take out the gar out of here as soon as possible, or the cyprinids, one or the other. The funny thing is that the gar there were always a lot of cyprinids in this, or at least several cyprinids in this tank at all times. And I've never had this problem before. Only now that there is a ton more cyprinids in this tank, that problems begin to show up. The two of the smaller red masir have been here for a couple of years. That's the other one. The normal-bodied Chinese masir has been here. The one in the current behind, right there. These three, and then the one that perished lately, not too long ago, if you remember, the Thai rose masir. Those four have been with this gar for a long time, without any problems like that. This guy was bitten on the tail too, but healed up. This one was bitten on the back also and healed up. So yeah, maybe in some circumstances, sometimes cyprinids and gar are compatible. But overall, I'd say on average, it's not a good idea. You gotta separate them. Despite the masir and the cigar shark, lemonfin barb, despite these fish being very smart and very fast and alert, in a small tank like this is not always enough for them to avoid getting bitten by the sneak attack hunting gar. Okay, let's take him out, measure him up. But we're gonna have to bury him. I don't think I'll be feeding him to anybody else. But we'll see. Alright, so we'll say this is lined up. The tail was intact, only about 28-29 inches. We'll call them 30 inches, whatever, approximately 2.5 feet. The fish is about 15 years old, came from Wesley Wong. It was in his personal collection for a while. When Wesley was redoing his his fish room in 2015. He sent this fish to us. 3 of them actually. They came at about 1.5 feet. Very pretty scales. This is an older bite that mostly healed up again from the gar. One of them we lost early, probably about after 2-3 years, for no known reason. So that's a second loss. At least formally, this is due to incompatibility with the gar, I'd say. I don't know if I should weigh him or not. I mean, he's pretty heavy. I'd say 20 pounds. I'm pretty sure this is a very close estimate. So that's a gar bite, that's a gar bite, that's a gar bite. He was of course bitten a lot after the death by the tank mates mouthing him. So some of this damage is not. Don't look if you're squeamish. This is the last bite. They removed, I mean, this was the one I told you about earlier. Then there was another one right here. And then the biggest one, I mean, they again beat him on the same spot 1, 2, 3 times. And then it's not that the wound killed him, it's the stress. He couldn't take it anymore. Him and his female, they spawned many times for us in the 25,000 gallons, but all the eggs were eaten, of course, by everybody else, especially the carp and the catfish. So we have the big female remaining. She's twice thicker than him, or 1.5 times thicker. She's probably 30 pounds. And 4 phoenix youngsters, about 16 inches. This is the big female. That's our story of the day. I have to go and bury the guy with honors. They have striking pink colored body parts, cheeks, fins, some spots on the head. So people usually, and also behind the head right here, people usually notice these fish and ask what they are and want to know more about them because of their striking appearance. This light doesn't give him justice, it's too dim. In good light, in sunlight, the scales are iridescent with lovely greenish, bluish colors, and the pink is even more vigorous. Anyhow, that girl is the only survivor out of the 3 that we got from Wesley Wong in 2015 in August. Today is October 2025. A little over 10 years passed. So I'm thinking they're probably about 15 years or so. They don't grow awfully fast. Wes is of course the first, or one of the first, or one of the few that brought phoenix carp into our hobby from China. That's where they live, in the natural environment. I've seen them court and spawn many times, so I'm pretty sure of their sexes, but males have a pointy anal fin like his, and the female's anal fin is large, but it's squared. So that's the way to tell the sexes. does not have, it doesn't come to a sharp point like the male's fin is.
See, it's kind of squared.